Does this mean now that the DPP will have to step away from office as of today?
Process now had been corrupted and contaminated, and you advised the judge that you were comfortable proceeding with a contaminated and corrupt process.
This is not the first time that I have had to deal with jury tampering.
And be that as it may, in the exercise of your judgment, why did you not see it fit to bring to an end a matter that had been corrupted?
Remember that these persons, at least two of them, are very famous. So it would have been, as far as the prosecution, when we discussed it, we would have been at those ones at a great disadvantage.
And the more them fight, the stronger we get. Me do cocky for your corporate. Speaking of cocky, hey Paula, go suck a dick.
The Vybz Kartel retrial seems to be in limbo after the Director of Public Prosecution, Paula Llewellyn, her tenure seems to come to an end after a 3-court panel ruled that her time is up. Her extension, or her second extension, is unconstitutional, and she is supposed to leave the job with immediate effect.
Yo, one of the Eastside dancehall, link Entourage Records. One of the Talkai Town in dancehall, link Entourage Records. Your Entourage, the meat you eat from morning, your ruggedness.
Bless up, and welcome back to Entourage Records. You're new via here, please consider subscribing. Turn on your post notification bell so whenever I make a new upload, you can be the first to be notified. Now, this Vybz Kartel case seems like it has taken a tailspin with the new ruling yesterday, with the current DPP has to leave office immediately. So Paula Llewellyn, according to the Court of Constitution, them rule against her, says she have to step down. So what really happened here is, normally, the DPP would have to demit office after she turned the age 60. So the government had a constitutional amendment that concerned the DPP and the Auditor General, something like that. So they gave her an initial extension, which is for 3 years. And the 3 years run out. So after the 3 years run out, they try to give her another extension for another 2 years. But according to the court, this was unconstitutional, and the law that they amended, null and void, and strike from the books immediately. So according to my understanding, the present government, they sped up this process and went to the wrong channel. And what should have been done here was to let the Prime Minister and the Leader of Opposition take care of this, and according to the law. So they basically rushed this through. After they rushed it through, they basically ended up hurting or embarrassing a public official, where she have to leave office immediately without nothing attached. Just have to leave, pack up her things, and come out.
The incumbent DPP has already reached the extended retirement age. This means that the application of Section 2(2) cannot lead to another extension in office by way of an election on the part of the incumbent DPP, as this is unlawful. Section 2(1) of the Act, as currently formulated, has raised the retirement age without addressing the extension of tenure in office. Consequently, any extension of the DPP's tenure under this section must adhere to the same process outlined in the previous Section 96(1) of the Constitution, which remains unchanged by the Act. The only lawful method to extend the DPP's tenure remains by way of an agreement between the Prime Minister and the opposition leader. Judgment is entered for the claimants. This court declares as follows. 1. Section 2(1) of the Act is a valid constitutional amendment. 2. Section 2(2) of the Act is an invalid constitutional amendment. 3. Section 2(2) is severed from the Act and is struck down and declared as unconstitutional, null, void, and of no legal effect.
So here we go again. In less than 2 months, there have been 2 rulings against the current, or can we say the former DPP. One of the ruling at the Privy Council in the UK and the next ruling in our constitutional courts in Jamaica. Two cases where the judges basically ruled against her. So what does this mean right now for Vybz Kartel? Well, there could be other prosecutors that will and can try the case. But this is or will be a big blow for the prosecution team because we know how well Paula Llewellyn know this case, and it seems like she's also obsessed with this case. This also goes good for the opposition leader, especially right now in time of politics, where enough people already, enough local Jamaicans already want Paula Llewellyn to go. And with them now have to go back to the opposition leader and ask him to sign off, like the Prime Minister asked for sign off. I don't think this is going to happen, none at all, because we know who vote more. Poor people, lower class people. And this, whether Vybz Kartel guilty or not, and because they go through the wrong channel, the Prime Minister in the first place was against the DPP to sign one extension. DPP got the extension. But in the interim, this had to be signed by the Prime Minister before it went to the Governor General when the next extension did go on. I go on a Parliament. And whatever amendment they tried to make to the Constitution, it was more partisan than anything else. And that's why right now they are looking at predicament with them in and now where Delroy Chuck, one of the ministers in the government, already has said he's going to appeal the ruling. But there's no way how theme appeal gonna even make any sense because it's unconstitutional and anything to do with the Constitution, where the judges them strike down the law, that will be very, very hard to repeal. And based on what I say, it's election time now, so it wouldn't even make sense them even try to look over upon the opposition. Worse, this case was brought by Bunting and Philip Palwell, which are PNP. So guess what? So Freedom Leader now go side against them. Them go all the way through this. Freedom Leader side against them. But make we hear what the lawyers them had to say after the verdict.
Michael Hanson, counsel for the claimants. When we started our solution to this case, the first thing that we said is that the case is not about the solution. It's not about how to do it. It's not even really about the extension of the case. The case is about the rule of law, about establishing a principle that the same laws apply to everybody, and that the Constitution needs to be respected. And we think that's what the court is ruling as indicated. So we are appealing to the ruling, the result of the court effectively saying that the Constitution requires everybody is the same and not specific.
Does this mean now that the DPP will have to step away from office?
As of today.
As of today? And there's no further challenge that she can make?
Well, I don't know what the government will discuss without the last.
Mr. Paula, what's your reaction?
Well, I'll start pretty much the same way. We've always said that this was not about Llewellyn, and it's more to do with our fundamental belief and respect for the Constitution. It's also an important statement on governance. A lot of these things can be avoided, if there is respect for the opposition in power. And this matter could have been dealt with by a conversation with the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, and which is what the Constitution requires. And if that were done and respect is given, then we wouldn't have this unfortunate situation where a public servant is being embarrassed. So I regret that aspect of it, for sure. But I believe that the judgment was a good one.
You mentioned that if there was a conversation question is for you or for the opposition. Would the opposition be minded then to agree on a further extension?
The way a country is run is by people recognizing the role and position of each other, the roles and position. And sometimes these matters are settled by the leaders. In a room, you submit the very royal confab, and that is how a mature democracy operates. We shouldn't have to be in Parliament one day summoned to pass a law without the requisite respect and consultation with them. And I think this is fundamentally a coming to our mind.
Mr. Paula, given this ruling, can we expect to see the opposition challenge, bringing more matters like this, in matters where they feel like the government did not, break the protocol or did not consult with the, with the constitution?
We are quite clear. Our role is to protect the integrity and the sovereignty of the Constitution. And anywhere we see violations, we are going to pursue.
Thank you.
So whether this was a political move or not, the one of the beneficiaries is Vybz Kartel and his co-accused. Especially since Paula Llewellyn seems so adamant and seems so obsessed, or this seems like it will be her legacy to go ahead and make sure, say, Vybz Kartel get a guilty conviction. It was overturned recently, 2 months ago or so, in the Court of Appeal at the Privy Council. But right now, Paula Llewellyn had set to go back to the drawing board and restart some kind of trial against Vybz Kartel. Not sure if she had any new evidence, because in my humble opinion, I think she needs to have some form of new evidence to proceed with a new trial based on what we saw played out at the Privy Council, after the Privy Council also ruled that the phone conversation that was admitted in court by Justice, was it Lennox Campbell? By the Justice, can't remember his name right now, I think Lennox Campbell. It was also deemed inadmissible. So Paula Llewellyn spoke about how brave the witness was, and I think she's talking about Cho. So, with all that's been going on, we don't know, will Cho come back to testify for the prosecutor after so much years? It's been 13 years. So in my humble opinion, Vybz Kartel right now, not only smiling, but he's jumping for happy and jumping for joy with a news like this, where if this case should proceed, it will have a new prosecutor. If not, maybe it won't even proceed any at all. Because what we're basically looking at right now is bail for whoever is legible, because there's one person among the co-accused that is already serving time on a different case. If you other subscribers want to tell me what you think about Paula Llewellyn being axed from the Director of Public Prosecution immediately in terms of the Vybz Kartel's case. Leave your thoughts, leave your comment in the comment section so we can talk about it. We've come to the end of another video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, those who have done so as yet. Also, please turn on your post notification bell so whenever I make a new upload, you can be the first to be notified. Peace out, bless up. I'll definitely catch you in the next one.